7 centuries ago, a strange curse crossed from Europe to America in the form of a mysterious legend surrounding Friday the 13th, 1307. For those of you unfamiliar with the date, this video is not about Jason Voorhees and Camp Crystal Lake. The epic tale of the Templar Knights came to a quick end when authorities arrested the Knights all across Europe. Almost immediately after this dark day, rumors went out that the Templar fleet vanished into thin air. For centuries, storytellers integrated the Templar Knights into history and fiction. But more recently, American storytellers found a captivating connection to the Templars along the Atlantic coast at a place known as Oak Island. So what's so special about Oak Island? And how does it connect to the Templar Knights and other stories? Simply put, Oak Island is a vault. So for the past 200 years, folks from The Curse of Oak Island to FDR have been trying to figure out what kind of treasure would be buried in a subterranean island vault. Having read many of the theories, I visited Oak Island back in 2011, so I'll do my best to paraphrase why folks think it served as a vault, and then the theories on what's inside. The concept is a central chasm with a storeroom off to the side, but the strangest feature is the great efforts that went into booby-trapping the vault, which used side tunnels to connect to a false beach. Why would you do this? Must be guarding something precious. Who would do this? That's where the Templars come in. They were once known as a Mason guild with exceptional stoneworking skills. So, going with the idea that this vault was once functional, what could it hold? When I visited in 2011, here were the popular theories about what it held. The Templar treasure, Shakespeare's secret manuscripts, Captain Kidd's pirate loot, Marie Antoinette's crown jewels, and my favorite, the Ark of the Covenant. So what do I think is buried in the money pit? None of the above. While I'm cool with Oak Island being a secret treasure vault, I'm also convinced it has been abandoned for centuries. Sorry guys, it's likely empty. But why was Oak Island chosen in the first place? The reason I visited Oak Island was because of my research into the Anishinaabe legend of the Seven Fires prophecy, which began in Nova Scotia and ended in my home state of Minnesota. I'll likely make another video about the prophecy, but let me summarize. It began on the Atlantic coast with strange prophets warning the people to leave. And they left. To find their promised land, they were given clues to guide them, including shells and islands. Sure enough, the 7 stopping places included islands, which is why I was intrigued by Oak Island. Connecting the origin of the Seven Fires Exodus to Nova Scotia's most famous island, of course, is speculation. However, the Anishinaabe also have another fun legend involving islands, with the story of Ayash and the Horned Serpent, where the boy Ayash disobeys the grandfather to visit an isolated island off the coast. In a previous video, I explained a connection between King Solomon and the Templar Knights. And when I was trying to understand what would cause someone to not just create a treasure vault, but to also clear all the trees, I adopted a theory that it was a land marker for explorers arriving at a new continent. And what would they be looking for? In my King Solomon video, I explained how the Philosopher Stone could have provided motivation for the Benea expedition that involved Phoenician sailors. If King Solomon had ancient wisdom of where the lost treasure, the Philosopher's Stone, existed prior to the Great Flood, star maps would have allowed a sailor to find a general longitude, making Oak Island an important location before searching the vast continent along the 44-degree north line. So Oak Island holds a lot of geographic history and spiritual significance. As you can guess, I really enjoy the Templar theories, but the Captain Kidd theory is equally interesting, since he was a hired gun to hunt down and destroy the Madagascar pirates, who, according to legend, had connections to the lost Templar fleet. 13 years after visiting Oak Island, I've written a book that takes all these legends and lore and spins them into an adventure story. Oak Island lore becomes a cornerstone in both my Alchemist Chronicles series, as well as my Dreamcatcher Chronicles, which follows families from the days of Ayash to the end of the Seventh Fire. While the legend of Oak Island normally begins in the 1800s when boys saw lantern lights around the depression that became the infamous Money Pit, I feel the purpose of Oak Island as a vault was likely done by then, if not a century earlier during the Captain Kidd era. Between the flooding and constant digging, the truth might never be revealed, but the legend only grows richer by the year.